Football gets so crazy. Some poor woman went to the Eagles game. I guess she was rooting for the other team. She was wearing the team's colors or something. And
I was just reading about that. She was in Green Bay Packers. She was in Green Bay Packers gear.
Uniform, gear.
Yeah.
And so the fan behind her starts calling her a cunt. And of course, the guy now has lost his job. He's banned from going to any Eagles games. And then, did you read, Ronnie, what his job was? It was something like he worked for a company that's like an HR company that teaches you how to be tolerant of other people or something crazy. Here, wait a second. A fan in Philadelphia was fired from his job after social media video emerged of him screaming the word cunt at a Green Bay Packers fan at the Eagles game last week. The man has now been fired from his job at a diversity, equity, and inclusion company. I mean, because Will was saying, hey, he should have lost his job. And I go, dude, he works at a diversity, equity, inclusion company. I mean, you got to think of that before you stand at the game and call a woman a cunt. But some guy filmed it.
Yeah, if you watch the video, it's on X. If you watch the video, she's minding her own business, doing nothing, and all of a sudden he just starts in with her.
Yeah, I really felt bad for the woman. I mean, you don't buy a ticket to a game to have some guy behind you start calling you a cunt just because you're wearing the other team's uniform. Will, what don't you get about that?
No, that's exactly what happens when you go to one of these games. If you go to a playoff game wearing the opposing team's jersey and cheering for the team, you're going to catch shit for it. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy was out of line. I mean, she's a woman.
He was definitely out of line. He should not have said that. I do not believe he should have lost his job. I think people get into fistfights at games all the time, which to me is way worse.
What do you mean, people? You do.
I don't get in fistfights. I have in the past.
Were you thrown out
you've been
of
arrested.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm arrested. I was detained.
What is
Years
the
ago.
jail? At the
I never went to the
stadium.
Eagles jail. That would be awesome. No, I mean,
He would regularly get into fights with people for wearing other uniforms.
yeah.
Yes.
But,
Howard,
like I said, that's kind of the way it goes.
Well, Howard, we went to a Jets
That's how
game.
it goes. Yeah. Where's the tape? Hold on a second. Where is the tape of the dude screaming cunt?
You know what? The audio wasn't that good, so we couldn't get it going.
All right, cool.
But we took Will to me and Jason took Will to a Jets game, and we almost got
20
thrown
years ago.
out on the line going in. He got into a fight with some guy.
What were you fighting about there, Will?
I don't remember. I was probably drinking too much and started in on somebody. And do you remember, Gary?
I don't, but I do want to make a point. The guy didn't just call her a cunt. He put so many adjectives in front of it. He called her a big, dumb, ugly cunt.
I didn't
So
like
I
that.
think
That was mean. That was too mean. The cunt part didn't.
No, come on. I mean, if a woman's standing there and she's rooting for her team,
that's
I can't stand
obnoxious.
It's obnoxious.
Get out of here with that.
Stop it.
Howard,
So if I go to a Stones concert and I'm wearing a Beatles T-shirt, do I get beaten
Can't
up?
compare it. It's not the same as music. But Richard
Okay.
went to the Eagles game and he didn't wear any Chiefs gear because he knows he'd take a rash of shit for it.
Damn right. I wore a Mahomes shirt under all my other gear just to somehow represent. But man, Howard, it was nuts. We were at that same game. There were a couple Packers fans behind us. Literally a row of like 6 guys weren't even watching the game most of the game. They were turned around yelling at the Packers fans behind us, flipping them off the whole time. The Packers are known for Packers fans wear these big things of cheese on their head. And so anytime. Oh, the Packers fans were easy to spot, and Eagles fans were brutal. It was entertaining.
You know, Palestine is safer than the Eagles Stadium. Will's the reason they started that Eagles jail. They have their own jail at Eagles Stadium or whatever it's called. Is it called the Eagles Stadium?
No, it's Link.
The Link.
I
think the jail was at the old stadium, though.
Yeah, that was
I don't know if they have one.
stadium. I think.
Yeah, but Howard, I even
put
got
one in.
Yeah,
I got
they've got
yelled
to
at.
start one.
I got yelled at by a guy just because he had to stand up so I could go use the restroom. The guy starts getting on me. He's like, "You couldn't go the fucking other way." Meanwhile, we're sitting in the middle of the aisle. And then the guy, he goes, "You couldn't go the fucking other way." And then he goes, "Wait, are you Richard Christie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the guy that you're fucking screaming at right now." And then he felt bad. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, man, why don't you wear your diaper?
That might be why he was yelling at me. Yeah, I should have.
Yeah. Oh, you probably were up and down a lot because you drink so much beer at a game that you probably were pissing every 5 minutes.
It's the last time we buy tickets for a seat in the middle of a row because I need to be on the end so I can piss a lot.
Well, this guy says, Bill says I have it wrong, that
What?
I don't have the full story of the fan. What have I got wrong? I don't know the whole story.
Hello.
Hey, what do I have wrong?
Yo. I don't think you got it wrong. I just don't think you have the whole story because from what I'm reading and seeing is that the couple, her and her husband, are more or less instigators where they were on Facebook with the GoFundMe account. Something about they wanted $1 from everybody and how they were going to go in and just instigate and look for trouble. I'm not saying that gives,
that's different.
and I'm not saying that gives the guy the right to do what he does, but you know, you can only poke the bear so many times. You know? And so,
well, I'm changing my opinion now. Maybe Will's onto something. Yeah, I mean, if you go in there to fuck with me, then I'm going to fuck back with you.
Will had no evidence when he was
you.
on the guy's side.
Yeah, no, Robin, there is
Turns out
evidence.
she was
There's evidence online. There is evidence.
Okay.
So you're saying it's possible she was a cunt.
I'm talking to Howard, not you.
She was a calculated cunt.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly, just like that. That's how they went in there. Just like Robin chimed in, they went there with that attitude, where you know they wanted to get in everybody's face, and you know.
Yeah, well, you need the full
it's
story
so many
sometimes. All right, you know what I'll do? I'll say this. I'll reserve comment. Thanks, man.
Buddy.
I didn't mean to hang up on Bobo. He was still on there, but
Oh, Bobo was there.
yeah, I was going to
whether or not you have
circle
the
back.
full story on that guy, he has been banned from the stadium. Like he's not allowed. So it's not just his job that fired him. It is the NFL that has banned him from ever coming back to that stadium.
Howard, do you remember I wore an Eagles helmet to an Eagles game and they punched me in the head the entire game?
Well, Wolfie, talk about when you saw a Phillies fan knock out a Mets fan in the parking lot for no reason, right? He just
it was just a guy wearing a Mets jersey, and this dude ran up and knocked him clean out. One punch right to the face, and then like guys stood there and laughed for a few seconds, and then they just walked away. Like, number one, never wear an opposing jersey to an Eagles game. So, there's no reason to do it. It's dangerous.
It's not just an Eagles game, Howard. There was a crazy story in 2011. A guy went to the Dodgers game wearing a San Francisco Giants jersey, and they almost killed him. Like, he still to this day can't walk straight. Like, they beat the shit out of him so bad. He was in the hospital for months.
It's fucking nuts, though. I mean,
it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Howard,
who cares? It's a fun rivalry. You got to have other teams to play.
My favorite thing in an Eagles game, like when you go.
Am I being too adult? What?
Too adult.
My favorite thing in an Eagles game, when you go into the bathroom and if someone's wearing like an opposing hat, they'll take the hat right off your head and throw it in the urinal and piss all over it. I've seen that multiple times.
Right. Will, you like that? You like that?
Oh,
I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's a fact. If you go to a stadium wearing an opposing jersey, you're looking for trouble. It's just, you don't act like, oh, I had no idea this was going to happen. Of course, people are going to.
Do you ever, as a guy who's been caught up in this, and you've beaten some people up?
I'm usually the one getting my ass kicked, by the way.
Right. I mean, you realize this is all over a guy throwing a ball around the field. Like, the team is out there playing. You're not playing. You're just watching. It's crazy, And what do you? It's not like they're threatening your family or your life. It's a bunch of guys tossing a ball and trying to get it through a goalpost.
It's kind of just fun to yell at other people.
Oh my God! Yeah. Will, remember when we used to go to Mets Phillies games it was Shea Stadium back then, but Will used to love to get Mets players to react to him, and some third baseman got really pissed at you because we were right on the third baseline, and Will just kept screaming at this guy.
That was
I don't remember who it was for the Mets, but
it's not just players. Will yell at ball boys. He'll yell at ball boys.
You're an aggressive guy. And I used to think
long time ago.
I used to go to Lions games and stuff when I lived in Detroit and everything. I'd see this, this passion people had for their teams, and I was like, holy shit. People have more passion for football than they do civil rights. I've seen a bunch of guys walk around and black person's getting yelled at, getting called the N-word and all this. And they're like, yeah, okay, listen, man, that's the world. But to go to a game and they see a guy wearing an opposing jersey, they're fucking going berserk. like it's crazy.
And Howard, you were giving me a hard time for wearing, even though I'm a Chiefs fan, wearing Eagles gear to the Eagles game on Sunday. Now you know why. Because I don't want.
Well, dude,
you
didn't have to wear. You didn't have to wear Eagles gear. You could have just dressed as a civilian.
Gear.
I would no. I think if I would have went there without Eagles gear, I still would have got yelled at by Eagles fans. They would have been like, "Where the fuck is your Eagles gear?"
It was cold out there anyway.
What were you wearing, by the way? Like, do you go as far as wearing a helmet? And what are you dressed that you could take the field?
No, my wife has a bunch of jerseys. She had a Devonta Smith jersey, and he helped me win my fantasy championship this year. So I like him. So I was happy to wear it.
So you couldn't even just go in a T-shirt and jeans. You need to be dressed as an Eagle.
Well, I had it was cold, so I had an Eagles stocking cap and an Eagles jersey with a coat over it. It made my wife happy. But I'm rooting for the damn Chiefs this Saturday, that's for sure. Let's beat the Texans.
How long did you tailgate on Sunday, Richard?
4 or 5 hours.
You got nothing to do. Don't you have kids? I mean, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, where are they?
It was a Sunday. They were at grandma's house. So.
Yeah,
we had a parents' day.
Poor grandma. You guys, what do you have, a medical emergency? No, we gotta go to the game and tailgate for 5 hours and drink.
What time did you get there?
The game was at what time is that game?
It was like 4:30.
4:30.
I think around noon or 1.
And you got home what time?
Right after the game. We got out there pretty early, 8 o'clock or so.
That's a long
whole day. A whole day.
A whole day of nonsense and drinking.
There were a lot of people there before us. So.
Hey Howard, can I just give you the end of the story, because I wanted to see what that GoFundMe was about. So Jason and I were just looking at it. All the guy did was start a GoFundMe and saying, "I'm a Packers fan. I want to go to the game and represent. If everybody gives me $1." He doesn't say I'm going there to fuck with people or anything like that.
Oh, so there you go. So the woman wasn't.
All right, let's have a trial, because we've got two opposing sides here.
Yeah. Will's upset. That's all I know. He's like,
don't lose your job. It just seems silly. It seems over the top. You do something stupid at a game.
Let me say something. The guy works for a diversity and inclusion company.
Right. Well, F him on that part, but
if he worked here, he'd probably be okay.
And Howard, nowadays, all of your tickets are purchased on your phone. So it takes them 2 seconds to find out exactly who you are. You don't get away with this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Very. No. And everyone's got a phone and a camera. I mean, you got to use your fucking head a little bit, but
I don't know why you have to get involved with other people anytime you're out in public. Just go to the game, watch the game, have a good time. Will. If your team wins.
Sounds boring. Lame.
It's boring. Robin's boring.
I was at an Eagles-Falcons game one time, and there were these two women. They looked like Southern belles, like nice, like Falcon sweaters, and they were in line. These guys screamed at them and swore at them. Like I was like, I wasn't going to get involved because I didn't want to get my ass kicked, but like it's brutal.
And the NFL is trying to get more women to watch these games. They need more butts in seats in butts, or butts in seats.
Oh, please. There's probably a bunch of Eagles female fans that were screaming the C word at her, too.
They're worse than the men.
Exactly.
My wife's a bigger football fan than I am.
Exactly. Richard's wife is probably right there with him.
Now, Robin, aren't you excited for your Ravens this Sunday?
I didn't even know they were in it. Somebody sent me a thing that says "Go Ravens." I was like, "What's that all about?"
It's the biggest game of the weekend, Ravens-Bills. It's going to be amazing. You got to watch.
Well, I'll try to tune in because it is playoffs, and that's when you see the best football.
I hope Robin doesn't go to the game and get into a fight. She can get off the feisty.
Don't fight any Bills fans, Robin.
Just this advertisement we just did will have me never go to a football game.
JD once wore his Bengals shirt to a Ravens game, and someone shoved him. He gets shoved anyway. He's.
Well, it didn't help that the Bengals won on like a last-second big play by AJ Green. There was a huge touchdown, so the Bengals ended up winning. So, but everything was fine in the stands But yeah, when we left, some guy, walked by me and, pushed me or whatever. So that was fun.
Did you kick his ass?
Dude, why would you
walked away?
Why would you do that? Why would you? Why you can't fight? Why would you wear that?
My significant other at the time thought it was a fun idea to do that. So.
Fun for her.
I tried to tell her, but listen.
Fun watching you get your ass kicked, I guess.
So
Howard, you got to watch videos of the Buffalo Bills tailgates. Those fans are nuts. They throw each other through tables. That's like their big thing. No,
they don't even
stadium.
They jump their tables themselves. They don't even need someone to throw them into them.
They also light the tables on fire sometimes.
Yeah,
they light it on fire, then jump through it.
Yeah, they jump into flaming tables.